Hey, welcome to the Everything Is Earned podcast. I'm your host, CLE Tallboy, and I'm here with Tim, aka It Is Contagious. And we are breaking down everything happening in your Cleveland sports world, and we've got a heck of a lot to talk about today, so let's get right into it. Alright, so in today's episode, we're going to talk about the Browns and the Falcons game, what all happened with that. We're going to get into the coaching outlook, and then this rookie draft class, and what they're going to look like going forward.
Chubby!
We're also going to talk about the Cavs, how things have gone with Larry Drew so far, and then what to make of Collin Sexton.
He's not good.
Tristan Thompson,
82 mil.
Kyle Korver, and J.R. Smith. So we're going to go right into it right away here, and we'll talk about this Browns-Falcons game. So Timmy and I actually were able to attend the game, and it was a really cool game to go to because Baker was lighting it up.
It was awesome. Baker had a perfect pass rating in the first half. He was 12 for 12. He was on fire. He was feeling pretty dangerous, and he continued that in the second half.
Yeah, it was spicy. I mean, he couldn't miss, and Freddie Kitchens called a really good game for like most of the game. There was probably 3 plays that he didn't do well on. There was the running back toss, like play that turned into an interception. That was bad. There was the illegal formation play where Baker pretended to have a problem with the line.
Yeah, but I don't mind that as much as you do. I like the idea of it, the trickery, and Baker's ability to sell a play. And we saw that later on, his ability to execute that and sell the fake pass to set up the screen for a touchdown to Chubb.
Yeah, but I mean, you're gonna do that stuff when you're a 2-6 team, and you really want to mix something up and keep the defense guessing. And I like the idea of doing trickery, but when you're
I mean, we saw that with Shanahan. It was awesome. I mean, that's why we liked Johnny a little bit. He kind of paired well with Shanahan a little bit there. I'm not comparing the two. I just saw the similarity in the kind of the creative offense.
Yeah, but Kyle Shanahan was also an offensive genius, so
we don't know about Freddie.
That's part of it.
Freddie could be. You don't know yet.
Yeah, I do.
He has another 6 games.
I do like Freddie. So, kind of cool thing about the Falcons game is I'm actually a Falcons fan. So I went to the game wearing Falcons gear.
Got that W, though.
It's a full circle thing for me because my very first NFL game was Browns vs. Falcons back in 2002. I remember going with my dad, my uncles, and aunts, and it was a really cool game because the Browns had a big W, and they were able to get the win and go into the playoffs. They had that big goal line stand with the whole run, Willie, run type of deal. And it was just a really cool memory. So it was fun to go this past week with my aunt and uncle and with Timmy because it kind of came full circle for us. And there was a lot of similarities in the game. The Browns had a goal line stand. They had a huge run.
Yeah, Nick Chubb had the longest run in franchise history with that 92-yard.
Yeah, it was crazy to see. I mean, you saw that he had room. And then when he picked up the block downfield by Callaway, it was like, oh man, this could happen.
But he also broke a tackle too within the first down marker, within the line of scrimmage to the 10 yards he had.
Yeah, it wasn't like an untouched run. It was a sick run.
We've seen Chubb make similar plays like this when he was over at Georgia, where he just had great patience, excellent footwork, and just a tremendous uncanny ability to find the gap in the hole and to punt through it, and still have enough gas left in the tank, enough speed to finish off the run. And that's translated into the NFL, and that's an awesome sight to see if you're a Cleveland Browns fan.
The other key to the Browns' victory versus the Falcons was Schobert coming back and Denzel Ward and Demarius Randall all being back. Big-time players on your defense that really keep the team connected and really kind of call out the plays of what's going on.
Yeah, well, Schobert is your play caller. Greg Williams has said it, and Hugh Jackson said it when he was here, that Schobert is like a coach on the field. And that's just invaluable to a team.
Especially a young team like the Browns. I mean, having that kind of leadership really matters. And it showed up. He had a great game and really disrupted the Falcons' run and really created a lot of chaos for the Falcons to try to deal with.
Yeah, Greg Williams said that I think he's the smartest player he's ever coached.
That's
definitely
awesome.
saying something to him.
Yeah, I love that.
He was a Pro Bowler last year, alternate, but he's been playing like a Pro Bowler this season before the injury. And he continued that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was a great win for the Browns. It was one of those feel-good wins where you didn't win fluky. You didn't win because the Falcons lost the game. You won the game because you straight up outplayed the Falcons. So definitely a big win for the Browns, and it feels great. And for Baker, it was a big-time step in the right direction.
Yeah, it was a great step. He made that big leap, like Baker said, over in Kansas City the week before, and that just translated to the following week when he was just feeling straight up dangerous. So I think the Browns moving forward are just trying to win it out. I mean, do you just want to just try to win all the rest of the games, or do you try and play for a draft seed?
I think at this point you really want to win the games. I always, in my bad Browns mentality, say, "Oh, I want a good draft selection." But for your franchise quarterback like Baker to set a good rhythm for the rest of the year and to start making plays and really starting to feel comfortable in the offense, I think that matters more than being 5 or 6 draft selections different.
That and the entire young Browns team learning how to win. I mean, it's been a big issue over the last several years, and so we need to break out of that shell, that curse that people keep on talking about.
Yeah, and your core pieces are going to be here going forward. I mean, you have big-time pieces on both sides of the ball, and if you can continue to build around those pieces and get a taste of winning because there's been so much losing that you can feel it's possible, that matters for a young football team, and it matters if you're trying to grow a winning culture, which the Browns have no idea what the heck is, what the heck that is, because it's been 20 years or more since the Browns have had a winning team. So, I mean, I'd prefer him to go forward and win games. And here's the other thing that's crazy. The Browns, if the season ended right now, would actually draft number 11. So they actually draft outside the top 10, which is also pretty crazy.
But I don't think that matters too much. John Dorsey is known to just pick diamonds out of the rough, regardless of where it is. If it's in the top 15 or if it's in the 3rd, 4th, 5th round. And he did that over in Kansas City, and he's doing that over in Cleveland. You have Chubb, you have Avery.
Got Baker, you've got Callaway,
potentially 4 starters. You have 2 franchise guys in Denzel and Baker, and it looks like you have another one in Chubb.
Yeah, so here's the thing. So Denzel Ward got picked higher than a lot of people thought he was going to go, and Dorsey was able to evaluate that and say, hey, I think this kid can play. What do you know? He's an Ohio State player, but not that the Browns fans have been screaming to draft Ohio State players for the last 10 years. Yeah, whatever. So we finally got a guy who can ball, and Denzel Ward looks like he's a franchise corner, which is just awesome to have, because if you can shut down half the field, you're going to give your defense a great shot.
Speaking of draft class, the Browns rookies have won 7 of 10 possible Rookie of the Weeks. You've got Baker winning 3, you've got Denzel winning 2, and then the past week you have Nick Chubb winning 2 as well. He won Rookie of the Week and FedEx Ground Player of the Week in the NFL.
FedEx Ground Player.
I don't know what that means.
Getting stuff done.
He put up 209 all-purpose yards and 2 touchdowns.
Does that mean he's going to deliver your Amazon package this Christmas?
In 2 days or less.
Yeah, 2 days or less. Nick Chubb just chugging along. That'd be cool. Like your celebrity delivery guy is Nick Chubb.
But hey, Callaway, stay out of Wisconsin. You haven't a lot of luck here. Just stay out of here. We don't want you here. Stay in Cleveland.
Yeah, stop getting those tickets, Callaway. Anyways, moving forward, what about the Browns coaching staff? This is an interesting one to me because you have Freddie Kitchens who figured out how to protect Baker. Whoa.
Turns out we don't have the worst offensive line in football.
Yeah, all you have to do is play the pistol and the wishbone, and all of a sudden, the Browns could run an offense. It's not like Baker did some of that in college or anything.
No, not at all. It's not like he gained the ball out quick and finding receivers in tough windows is any of its strong suits.
Yeah, it's not like having 2 explosive running backs that can make plays in space is a positive.
Why would you want that?
Yeah, why would you want to get the ball to your playmakers?
Todd Haley!
And you think Hugh, with all his hands in the pot, would figure out how to unlock the offense, but him being an expert. I mean, if you're an expert, do you have to say you're an expert?
I don't think so.
No, normally people tell you you're an expert.
If you're good at something, you tell people. If you're great at something, people tell you.
So, Freddie Kitchens, what do you do with him? He's the running back coach promoted to the offensive coordinator, and in 2 weeks, he's unlocked Baker. He's gotten the run game consistently going. And I think if he puts together a good rest of the season, you definitely have to retain him on your staff. But will he get offers from other places to be a play caller?
Well, that depends on if you want to make him your offensive coordinator. Because normally, if you get a new head coach, he's going to want an entire new staff. So that's going to be really tricky for John Dorsey to handle. through 2 weeks, he looked like he should be the future offensive coordinator of this Cleveland Browns team.
Yeah, here's my perfect scenario. So I would love the Browns to go get an offensive-minded young coach and then have him be the play caller and then keep Freddie Kitchens as the offensive coordinator. That way you have stability with your coaching staff in that realm.
And familiarity.
And familiarity with an offense that's clicking hopefully the rest of the way. And you still have the young guy who's calling the plays and designing the offense.
And get an entirely different defensive coordinator, because we do not like Greg Williams. It takes more than just motivating a team to be good at your job. You have to have the scheme. You have to be able to adjust on the fly and change things up if they're not working. And over the past 3 seasons, Greg Williams has put a safety all the way out in Lake Erie. We haven't seen him since. So bring back our safety, Greg Williams.
Yeah, it's so easy for a good quarterback to just dissect that type of defense and figure out how to beat him. I mean, you look at what Phil Rivers did. I mean, he was able to run those deep posts like 2 or 3 times, and a pump fake broke the defense twice.
You can do 2 separate things. You can just run 2 guys that go straight vertical out, or you can bring 1 guy deep and 1 guy deep across the middle, and basically you do a match protection and just hope as a quarterback just wait out the safety and throw off the opposite side of whatever side he jumps to.
For shot plays, that defense that Greg Williams runs is horrible, because if you have a good quarterback and a playmaker as a wide receiver, you're going to be in trouble on the defense.
Not just shot plays, though. The one defense. You're playing 10-11 every time. He's 25 yards, so you're not fooling anybody with a safety blitz, ever.
Yeah, you're always running a man down, and I hate that defense. It's like a prevent defense, unlike your base defense.
That is, it's kind of a weak, kind of like, it's playing not to lose is what it is. It's telling your players, hey, I don't trust you, so I'm going to put a guy in the back. When you do, get beat.
Yeah, I don't love it. It's not great that Greg Williams is not going to be the head coach.
Yeah, we'll find out.
I don't care if he goes undefeated the rest of the way. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, we'll find out who our pieces are, who's the future, and who's not.
I mean, looking forward, you definitely don't want to keep Greg Williams. I'd like to keep Freddie Kitchens. I would like to find a young, smart, offensive-minded head coach. I mean, Bruce Arians is out there and says he wants the job, but I think if you get Bruce, you're going to get him for 2 or 3 years, and then if you get a young, smart offensive coordinator, he's going to get picked up in 2 or 3 years. I mean, like Shanahan did, or any of these other really smart offensive coordinators, because the league is all about the offense, and if you got a guy that's going to put up points, he's going to get offers to be a head coach somewhere.
So long-term future, our best would be retaining Freddie Kitchens, hiring a offensive-minded head coach.
Yeah, I'm all about that. Yep, that's what I'm for. So that's a little bit about the Browns and what the Browns got going on. Let's talk about these Cavs. So the Cavs have been a little bit perplexing so far. Let's not forget that Kevin Love is still out. That's a big portion of it. I know there's a lot of Kevin Love haters out there. I don't buy into that, because a casual basketball fan doesn't understand the value of Kevin Love, because he's not crossing people up and shooting threes in people's eyes like Kyrie did, or like a lot of these big superstars in the NBA do. But Kevin Love does so much on a basketball court that you just simply can't account for.
Yeah, he's not doing the flashy, jaw-dropping plays. He's a good basketball player. He's a great IQ of the game and a great understanding of what he brings to the team. And that was difficult to see when he was a third wheel behind LeBron and Kyrie. He was very unselfish during those 4 years. And when he gets healthy, you can kind of see what he can do as a primary option over in Cleveland.
Yeah, and the big thing, I think, with the Cavs right now is you got to figure out what to do with some of these veteran pieces. And
Trade them.
Yeah, but first and foremost, you're not going to trade Kevin Love. Kevin Love signed the deal. He's here for at least another season.
I was talking about the role players. Soup throwing JR, I'm talking about you.
J.R. Smith, I'm kind of over him. I think he's kind of outstayed his welcome. I mean, I liked all he's done for us, and he's done some really great stuff in the Cavs uniform.
That can never be taken away, what he did in 2016.
Yeah, you can't forget the second half of Game 7. He came out and scored 7 points or whatever to start the quarter, and he basically saved the game. You know, he definitely had a big role in that playoff run, so don't discount that. But at this point in JR's career, his money's too much. His extra stuff, his ego, whatever. I don't want that right now.
Personality, all of his drama.
Yeah, I want to develop young talent, and that's why I don't think I need him at this point. The Cavs have these younger players, and we're gonna see if they're any good. So far, Jetty's been very up and down, mostly down. He had a lot of turnover problems. His 3-point percentage has definitely dropped hard, and he seems like he's not playing with a whole lot of confidence, or he's not getting the same kind of looks that you'd like him to get. He's forcing it a little bit.
Well, he's having trouble finding his spot, finding his role, and that's been an issue with Rodney Hood as well. But with Jetty, he started off strong the first few games. It seemed like it was his team or his offense when he was out there, and then throughout the few games of when Ty Lue left and then Leo Du came back, Leo Du trying to make it it's kind of a team-oriented offense. No one is the primary option, and then Jetty has kind of lost kind of his confidence a little bit there.
Yeah, Jetty definitely took a little bit of a step back. I think he's definitely a complimentary piece. So when Love comes back, you'll see a nice boost in Jetty, I believe. So he hasn't had a great season so far. Larry Nance has been better as of late. He's still a lot frustrating.
When he's confident, he's been much better on offense. You've seen him kind of play as a playmaker on offense over the last few games. Like bringing the ball up the court off a rebound. You're like, what's going on here? You're not Blake Griffin, but he's done a decent job with that. What we don't like about him is his head-scratching plays that he makes on defense and some of the decisions he made on offense.
Yeah, I just like to see him polish some things out. I really wish he would have put more work in the offseason because it just seems like he didn't come into the season adding anything to his game. He looks like the same kind of player. I would have liked to seen him really develop that three-pointer a little bit more and then work on that jumper a lot more too. It just seems like it's not quite there yet.
Which is weird with the timing because he just signed a new $45 million deal. So after signing that, you would say, oh, okay, so he put a lot of work in on the offseason and he made a huge step from the end of last season, and we haven't really seen that.
Yeah, he took some more shots these last few games. Like he did hit a 3 against the Hornets, and I like that. That's fine. If you're gonna start, pulling those shots, I hope you're working on them in practice. So I'd like to see if he continues to try to do that and improve his game at all. The other player that would have been a really big topic of discussion has been Collin Sexton. Now let's get this out right away. We understand he's a rookie. We understand he's only 19. The more you say it doesn't make it any less true. But when you know a player is talented and you know that there's a skill there that can be developed and there's the potential to go to a higher level, it's usually pretty obvious. You look at the last couple of years and the players that have done that: Jason Tatum, Devin Booker, Kyle Kuzma,
Zach LaVine,
Brandon Ingram,
Donovan Mitchell,
Dennis Smith Jr. I mean, there's definitely players out there that you could tell they have the talent to go to the next level.
Victor Oladipo. He was kind of a question mark, diamond in the rough.
I just don't see that with Sexton. I think the first thing that really bothers me about his game is he seems like he doesn't have any basketball IQ.
He just seems like a player on the court. He doesn't seem like he's a leader. He seems like very quiet. I mean, he has a Young Bull title, and he seems like he has all that that passion and kind of velocity that people are talking about. But when he's trying to communicate with your team or look like you know what you're doing, I haven't seen that from Collin Sexton. And he kind of looks like he's always lost. I don't know if it's just his eyes or what, but I don't like it.
Yeah, he just doesn't give off that vibe that he's got a good understanding. And there was that report 2 weeks ago that said that the Cavs veterans thought he'd know how to play ball, and I definitely agree with that because even though he's putting up points out there, he hasn't been a player that I think has a high ceiling.
He doesn't really jump off the table.
But look at the history of the picks that are mid-late round. There's not bad talent in there, and there's definitely players that can play that have come out of later rounds. I mean, like I said earlier, Devin Booker, 13th overall pick.
Donovan Mitchell, 13th overall pick. Zach LaVine, 13th overall pick. That's 3 13th overall picks within the last 4 years, I think, 5 years.
Yeah, so I mean, there's definitely players out there that can play at that position. I think Sexton might have been a little bit of a reach.
Giannis was a late round pick too.
Yeah, I mean, Joker, 41st overall pick. Yeah, 42nd. Yeah, crazy. So there's definitely talent in the NBA draft. I think it's all about your coaching staff and what they're able to do with it.
Development team.
So with Sexton, I kind of think we got to wait and see. But don't be the person that just reads the stat lines on Twitter or on like the post-game stuff, or reads the Cavs official post and say, yeah, Sexton's out here balling. Because even though he's had some nights where he shot the ball, decently well, he doesn't pop out if you watch the game as someone who's dominating the game. It's really never the case. And I know he's a rookie, so we're going to keep saying that. We understand he's a rookie, but we want to see someone with a higher potential and more basketball IQ. Like a guy like Ricky Rubio, you knew his ceiling was a little bit higher because he had the IQ and he read the game well. A guy like Luka Doncic, you could tell he's going to develop, and he has played very well in the NBA so far.
He has those flashes of those little talent players that, ooh, if he can do that consistently, he could be a star in this league.
IQ and talent jump off the page in basketball, and there hasn't been like any plays that I've seen from Sexton that said, oh man, this guy could do it if he connects the dots.
And some of the negative things that show that he's not going to have it, or he hasn't shown it yet. Three things really: his ability to handle the ball, his ability to get the ball to teammates, and his defense. I know people think he's been a great defender lately, but the stats aren't the same as in game, and he's been pretty awful in all three of those. So far, he's only averaged 2.3 assists a game, or 36 minutes, 3.1. Per 100 possessions, he averages 4.5 fouls and 4.3 turnovers a game. I mean, and they're not the turnovers where he's trying to make plays for his teammates. They're like turnovers where he's trying to dribble the ball or attack, and he just get poked and whipped by a defender. Easy high school stuff. And it's head-scratching, to say the least.
Yeah, he had like what he thought was a blow-by the other day, and then the guy came behind him and poked it, and I was like, oh my gosh.
And as a basketball player, that's one of the easiest things to notice. And the Wizards did it to him 4 times. All 4 of his turnovers against Washington was getting poked from behind. All 4 of them.
Yeah, and that's a developmental thing, and that's an IQ thing, because if you're a basketball player and you blow by someone, almost the first thing you should do instinctively, it should be to tuck it in front of you where the player can't come and poke from behind, because you blow by them. You should be almost like curious as to why that was so easy. Kind of a weird thing there with Sexton, and I really hope he does perform well. I'm not saying I want to see him fail, but I'm worried about his development. I'm worried about his overall potential, and that's not to say he's not going to be a good player. My big thing is, don't try to sell me Sexton as a franchise player, because
or a perennial All-Star or a Hall of Famer or any of that, because he has a low ceiling. I'm gonna give you some comparisons here. I think the closest to what his ceiling is like a Reggie Jackson, Jeff Teague, at best like Eric Bledsoe player. I've been looking at his numbers between the three, and they have all had similar either recent years or rookie years in terms of field goal percentage, turnovers, assists, and just overall kind of personality on the court. Here's an awesome stat. The league average per in the game, it kind of shows the overall effectiveness on the court, both offense and defense, is 11.5, and the league average is 15. So you have 5 starters for 30 teams, and the average is 15 out of all those players. And you have a player who's apparently playing great basketball as a rookie.
So you're saying with Sexton's 11.5 player efficiency rating
per minute, yeah,
that's below league average across the board of all players.
Not just guards, not just point guards.
It's not great. Overall here, the thing to take away is, I don't hate Sexton. I don't wish he fails. I just don't think we can say he's going to be an all-star. I think we have to temper our expectations a little bit, because we've gotten sold on Sexton all summer long, all fall long, by the Cavs media and mainstream media saying this kid's going to be a good player. And I just don't see it yet. And don't tell me the Summer League is an example of him being an all-star.
With all that being said, on the negative side of Collin Sexton, there are a few positive points. He has shot especially well from the three-point line. It's weird, 50% for the year so far. And he has averaged 18.8 points a game over the last four games after becoming the starter after George Hill went down with the sprained shoulder.
Okay, so can I go back to negative real quick? We talk about jump shots. Can we mention a few players that had really high stats in shooting and have definitely tailed off since their high stats?
Jetty.
What about Deladova a couple years ago? He was shooting like something silly, like almost 40%. Deladova was definitely an example of that.
Well, LeBron made that happen. Playing with LeBron automatically increases your field goal percentage. But yeah, you're right. 14 games isn't enough to show the shooting ability of a player.
Small sample size.
So let's see. Let's wait for maybe half the year, maybe 82 games before we think he's a good shooter. Before we think he's a good scorer.
Okay.
He also hasn't had a good 2-point percentage. He's supposed to be a slasher that's fearless at the rim, and he shot 43% from two.
Yeah, I guess I'm spoiled because of Kyrie, because Kyrie made everything look easy when he attacked, and I just loved watching Kyrie finish at the rim.
Because it's all talent. It was all ability.
Yeah, I mean Kyrie was like,
he's one of those players. He's not fast at all, but he's decisive, and he took up space the right way.
He controlled his area. Kyrie controlled.
He moved with purpose.
Yeah,
is what he did. He's never fast. He's one of those players just like Devin Booker, just like Gary Harris, just like Donovan Mitchell.
It's like Luka Doncic, my boy.
Yeah, he looks super slow, but when he has the ball, he just knows what to do with it. Knows how to use his offensive players. Know how to deceive the defense, and it's awesome to watch. And when you see Collin Sexton, it looks like he's just running around with speed out there just because he has it.
Yeah, I don't want to see. It's just a fast player. Also, fast is not a skill; it's an attribute. So let's get that right.
Definitely does help, though.
Yeah.
I mean, you can utilize it, De'Aaron Fox, John Wall, players like that. But just like John Wall, you have to take your game to that next level, to that elite level, until you figure out shooting. And he hasn't figured out. That's why it's Bradley Beal's team right now, and that's why John Wall should be traded. But
yeah,
that's the difference.
Can we trade John Wall to Detroit or to
San Antonio? I've been saying it forever. Trade him to San Antonio. Just don't bring him off the bench because him and DeRozan would not be good scoring.
Yeah, you got two non-shooters or non-3-point shooters at least between DeRozan and Wall if you put him on San Antonio. But who does San Antonio trade?
But Greg
Aldridge?
Pop would just
do you trade Aldridge for
blow it up
for Wall straight up?
That would be really helpful actually for Washington, and then bring Morris off the bench. He could be a 6-man candidate. That could be intriguing. And
Who's
you
your
have
point guard though?
Fucking Beal, whatever.
I don't know. But Beal's not a point guard.
Devin Booker does it. James Harden does it. What the heck? Why not?
I guess. All right.
It's new NBA.
I mean, that's fine. Whatever. All right. So, anything else we want to talk about here, real quick? Oh, we talk about Indians. Can we talk about the Indians real quick?
No. Before we get Indians, can we talk about how bad Ante Zizic is? Yes, he is 7 feet tall, and yes, that is helpful on the defensive end, rebounding, whatever. But when you have a guy who's averaging almost 8 fouls per 100 possessions compared to Tristan Thompson's that only averaged 3.5, that's crazy. That's insane. It shows that when he is on the floor, he has no idea how to defend anybody without fouling.
Yeah, you could put Ante in any trade package.
And I would say yes.
And I'm fine with it.
If you sent a laundry machine, whether it be dryer or washer, preferably washer, I think, for the Cavs at the moment.
Yeah, we need a washer.
That would be awesome.
We also need a point guard.
A little semi-pro quote there.
Yeah.
He does.
Yeah, go Tropics. Yeah, I really want to trade Ante with like a Korver or J.R. Smith package. Also, I would straight up trade Sexton for Fultz right now. Like, not even, I wouldn't blink twice.
And then I'd have Fultz talk to me and meet with me, and I can fix his jump shot.
Or just retain Korver for a little longer and have Korver fix his jump shot.
Which he's done. He's helped Sexton. He's helped Jetty. I think last year he helped. Yeah, he's helped Larry this season. He's helped Tristan Thompson last season.
Yeah, he
can be the new Damon Jones. Just don't toss soup at him.
Yeah, no soup.
He's too nice.
Yeah.
To toss soup.
So I definitely would make some trades here if I could, but I'm not the Cavs GM, and I don't think Kobe is either.
He is, but he isn't.
Yeah, I'm so
Dan
mad.
Gilbert's kind of the GM and the owner and the face of the Cavs.
No,
Question mark?
I'm so mad. I'm so mad that the Cavs don't have David Griffin anymore. If we had David Griffin, we would definitely have competed farther last year.
Yeah, we would have had Kimba or Paul George. We at least got something for Kyrie Irving, not just, a dwarf Badger Bones and a chubby football player with dreads.
You know what you probably could have done? You probably could have traded Kyrie to the Hornets for Kimba and Nicholas Batum and one other random player, and you would have had a much better squad than you would have had last year.
I would have also took Gary Harris from Denver.
Yeah, that was
Kenneth Faried, and then swap out Tristan Thompson.
That was another really sad trade rumor that we knew fell through.
That might be
on
the worst mistake of Dan Gilbert's tenure, not retaining David Griffin.
Yeah, that thing really hurts me. It's so painful that David Griffin isn't back. I love David Griffin so much. He made all the right moves, and he was so good at leveraging his assets that it was just awesome. But
speaking of Dan Gilbert, can Nick Gilbert win one more lottery, and then can Dan Gilbert sell the Cavs and then just move to Detroit?
Yeah, Dan's not going to sell the Cavs till after the All-Star game. That's when they'd be most valuable. We know that now.
But if my Cleveland Heart desires him to be traded now, but we know that's not going to happen.
Also, would you take R.J. Barrett or would you take Zion?
You know what? The last couple of weeks, I've been all about R.J. Barrett, but over the last couple of days, Zion has kind of looked more and more intriguing. And I think the conclusion that kind of made me kind of teeter-totter a little bit is just the overall possible ceiling that Zion has.
I'm worried about his athleticism and how he trains. If I had
his durability, yeah, that could be huge. If he's as committed off the basketball court as he is on, and the passing that he shows on the basketball court, then he could be a very intriguing option come this next June.
I just don't want to draft Blake Griffin 2.0. That's not
or
what I want.
Anthony Bennett 2.0.
Yeah, I mean,
Anthony, where you at?
Anthony's had no bounce ability. Freaking Zion.
He also had a bunch of mental problems that we didn't know about.
Jumper. Oh, Anthony Bennett did?
Yeah, he had mental issues, and he had an eating disorder, I think, as well.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. Well, I think Zion is really interesting. I want a player that's gonna be a long-term guy.
And I think RJ
Barrett.
RJ Barrett. It has a higher ceiling than you would think because he's right next to Zion, who looks like he has unlimited potential. Or kind of think of him as a James Harden kind of ceiling, maybe James? I'm trying to think of lefties. I'm thinking James Harden, maybe Michael Redd. I'm thinking a Brandon Roy player.
Michael Redd, Brandon Roy. Man, I miss Brandon Roy.
Or Paul George. I think he could be the lefty Paul George.
Yeah.
He's explosive. He can score at will from the rim. And he has great control of his body.
Yeah. So interesting to think about. So the final thing here, Indians are looking to
trade everybody,
blow it up, and honestly, I don't want to blow it up. I just want to adjust a little bit. So hear me out here. I want to trade Kluber and get back a big old return, and then I'm gonna move Bieber into my starting rotation. I have Carrasco be my number 2. I have Bauer be my number 1.
Can we trade J-Ram too? I mean, I love the guy, but over the past 2 postseasons, he's done nothing. And for a potential MVP candidate, you can't do that.
Yeah, can we swap J-Ram and then sign Bryce Harper?
Yes.
I want Bryce Harper.
Yes.
Give me Bryce
Harper. Yes to all of that.
Yeah, I want Bryce Harper. Anyways, that's all I got to say about the Indians. I don't have a lot to say about it because I'm not doing this whole we're going to count things down till the next pitch. Still a bunch of nonsense. We're still in football season and in basketball season. Yeah, let's enjoy the sports that are currently in season and not get too crazy about it. Thanks so much for stopping by and listening to episode 3 of the Everything is Earned podcast. You can find us on social media on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. We love talking with you guys about all the stuff that's going on. And we're going to do a Browns-Bengals preview, and we're going to talk a little more about the Cavs here. So LeBron's coming back this week, and it'll be real interesting. So we'll see what all happens. But this has been episode 3. And remember, in Cleveland, everything is earned.